Welcome back to On the Timeline. I'm Emma Connelly.
And I'm Samantha Vassallo, and today we're talking about UMG pulling their music from TikTok. For those who don't know, UMG is the Universal Music Group, and they are the largest music company in the world. They have celebrities like Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, Jake, Kendrick Lamar, and Daddy Yankee.
And Shawn Mendes.
The love of
my life.
Love of her life. All on their label. They literally own everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Anyone good?
They have
almost
them. Yeah.
Everyone.
And they own different records too.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish is technically I think Interscope.
And Shawn Mendes is technically Island.
Yeah.
There's a couple small record labels underneath.
Yeah.
All of UMG.
So they literally own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently just pulled their music off of TikTok.
I'm sure all of you have noticed.
Yeah.
You posted videos and it took the audio off. You can replace it now with copyright-free music.
Yeah.
If you want to.
And so I'm gonna first go through, how this happened.
Yeah.
What the list of events were. And so it all started on Tuesday, January 30th, when UMG released a letter saying that their current licensing deal with TikTok was about to expire and that all of the negotiations to get a better deal with them had come to a halt. And so this was big news because it was oh my god, if they don't reach a deal, the music's gonna get pulled.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I was on edge because I was oh, they'll reach a deal, they'll make a new contract.
Because they say that all the time, when they're the government's. They claimed that the app was not responding well to 3 major arguments that they had made with them during their negotiation deals, and this was, quote, appropriate compensation for our artists and songwriters, protecting human artists from the harmful effects of AI, and online safety for TikTok users.
I don't think anyone cares about the online safety for TikTok users because TBH, everybody in Gen Z uses TikTok.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's true. I don't care.
And so TikTok responded by posting a statement saying that that the company, UMG, was putting their own greed above the interests of the artists themselves. And so then the next day which was January 31st, which is a Wednesday, songs like Cruel Summer, Get 'Em Back, and Let the Light In all started to disappear from TikTok's search engine. And then just after midnight, all UMG songs were pulled from TikTok, off the videos, off the search engine, off basically everything.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
I've gone through my most recent videos and replaced the audio with one of those sped up high pitched versions of it.
Well, that's the cool part is that you can get around it.
Yeah.
You can, because I still see videos with the songs on there.
Yeah, it just has to be the pitch has to be changed slightly.
And so a UMG spokesperson said on Wednesday, quote, that TikTok was, quote, woefully outdated, end quote, and also saying that TikTok still argues that artists should be grateful for the free promotion and that music companies are greedy for expecting them to simply compensate artists and songwriters appropriately. So that was kind of the argument.
And honestly, I don't disagree with that, and that's kind of what my point is going to be. All about the promotion that TikTok gives artists.
What?
Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of talk about how TikTok has been so good for some artists and some musicians. These are some songs that blew up at the peak of TikTok, 2020, 2021, Savage by Megan Thee Stallion, Lottery, that's the Renegade song by K Camp, Say So by Doja Cat. Oh my god, wait, we should do a TikTok dance for it. Didn't even notice your punches got to roll. Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, Backyard Boy by Claire Rosencrantz, Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, my queen, Up by Cardi B, WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
That definitely became a hit because of the TikTok.
Yeah.
100%. The Box by Roddy Ricch, and I feel that was even on Musical.ly maybe.
Yeah.
That one throws it way back. And then Dance Monkey by the Tones and I.
And I also think it's important to note too that there were also songs that were old that were popular
yes, that got brought back
15 years ago and then got brought back because of TikTok, Bloody Mary,
or Fantasy by Mariah Carey. There's so many
old songs that just were
Running Up the
hit.
Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that was on Stranger Things, but it became
Murder on the Dance Floor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But Running Up That Hill, you're right.
There's even some singers that owe their popularity to the app because they wouldn't have made it at all if it hadn't been for the app. And think about Lauren Gray, Baby Ariel. Those are from Musical.ly.
Yeah.
They made it on Musical.ly, kept making it on TikTok. And Dixie D'Amelio, she got famous because her sister was dancing on TikTok, and now she's a recording artist. Ash Nico, Lil Nas X, Jax. Think about Jax. Like, she was on American Idol, but I mean, you only know her from her TikTok songs. Like, that's what brought her to fame. Jack Harlow, Walker Hayes, Doja Cat. Like, there's so many artists, are talented artists, but they got their breakthrough from TikTok.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't been allowed to post their music on there, like, they wouldn't have had that breakthrough, because you can't just sit there and say, yeah, I've got some good songs. You got to go listen to them on YouTube. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere. So a New York Times article recently discussed how TikTok kind of makes people famous, obviously, and how they carry through that fame. And it's talked about how most people that became famous on TikTok have kept their fame up by staying on TikTok. Like, that once they tried to escape from TikTok, even if they are successful in the film industry, in the music industry, if they stop that TikTok engagement, they're losing engagement outside of it. So you have to keep that audience engaged. And without new music going up on TikTok, you can't keep the audience engaged, because eventually reusing those high-pitched versions of old songs is going to get boring. So TikTok, I mean, the New York Times actually has a whole thing about the rise and possibly the fall of TikTok. And I think this maybe could be the icing on the cake to cause the fall of TikTok. So here's some of the points that they have. The app once offered seemingly endless chances to be charmed, but in only a few short years, its promise of kismet is evaporating, our critic writes. That's what the New York Times said. So they're like, it feels like when you start scrolling, like, you're seeing the same thing over and over again. Whereas when TikTok first started, like, you're getting something new every swipe. And then, like, there's like the reality show of the 9-month cruise, you know, I'm sure you've seen that. Like, that's something without the music that has kept TikTok afloat without music, but not everything is gonna work without music. So, I mean, you can compare TikTok to apps like Omegle or Vine, per se. Like, Omegle used to be so popular. Like, everybody was getting on there and talking to random people. It's gone. Obviously, Vine is gone. I mean, it's been gone for years, but it eventually was done, and they took it away. So I just feel like that could be what's happening to TikTok, especially after all the music is getting pulled. Like, it's supposed to be a dancing app, but there's no music to dance to. Like, the whole narrative of TikTok is flipping, and like Reels is growing in popularity. So I feel like it's really interesting to see how an app can be so huge and so popular and then all of a sudden just drop.
How do you keep exposure, and how do you get people to listen when there's nothing to listen to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know whenever I was younger, I discovered most like artists on YouTube. But now TikTok is the place. And like, rap is not like a big thing for me. Like, I don't just like listen to rap playlists on a daily basis. But TikTok is where I find rap songs that I do like. Like, I'll see a TikTok and it says something and I'm like, wait a second, I love this song. So I add it to my playlist, and yeah, it gives them like 0.5 cents, but 0.5 cents, like 0.03 something.
3 cents per stream. So
yeah, and so
300 streams.
Even me listening 5 times is giving them a couple cents, and so like TikTok is given me more variety in music. And like, I never listened to Noah Kahan. After I started watching YouTube, I started listening to Noah Kahan, like, not YouTube. After I started watching his TikTok videos, I started listening to Noah Kahan. Like, it really builds artists' reputation and helps them outreach.
Yeah, and so I think that that's, especially for smaller artists, I feel so bad. Like, this is gonna this is really gonna like ruin them, I feel like, a bit. Not ruin them, but like, it's gonna be really hard for them to promote their music and to kind of gain a new understanding. And I mean, like, I am so surprised that UMG just could not come up with a deal with TikTok. Like, when I heard that they couldn't come up with a deal, I was shocked.
I was shocked too, because they don't realize how detrimental this is going to be. They need to get some Gen Z up in there making decisions.
Yeah, they really do.
And like TikTok said in there, they're getting advertisement.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally free advertisement. You have a bunch of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids making TikToks with this music.
Yeah.
Thousands of others are watching it. They're going and downloading that song on Spotify.
So, moral of the story, I don't agree with your decision,
no,
UMG.
Neither of us agree with you. That was the timeline on UMG pulling music from TikTok. For SGTV, I'm Emma Connelly.
And I'm Samantha Vassallo.